Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pensacola International Super Speedway for the 15th race in the 2021 FBRL NAPA Truck Series season. Zachary DeLello shocks the field with a pole, his first career pole in series history. Teammate Aiden Smith starting right behind him in third. Luke Martin, who's on a two-race win streak, starts in fifth. Kyle Springer also qualifying inside the top 10. Now a 36-point advantage for Luke Martin in the championship with 8 races remaining. And if Daytona showed us anything, it's that anybody can win and that the Rams are strong in the aero game. Papyrus showed us that as well, with all the Rams, especially Breeding Enterprises, at the front of the field contending for the win. Blake Warren won at Daytona. Luke Martin won at Papyrus. Now Larry Hagan, the third driver for Breeding, has yet to visit victory lane this season. He was very fast at Daytona. Could he repeat that showing here tonight? But add a win to the mix. But let's not forget, there's a lot of other hungry drivers in the field looking to get their first career win here tonight. And Dewey Schramm III, he was fastest in practice but made it in on a provisional. But he was gonna qualify and start 11th had he not had to use that provisional. That 65 machine has speed. Watch out for him and all the other Rams in the field tonight as we go trackside for the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
As always, drivers that fail to make the race will scroll along the top of the screen. We had a decent split of manufacturers in the top 10 in practice. 3 Rams, 3 Chevys, 2 Toyotas, and 2 Fords, with Dewey Schramm III being at the top of the chart, running a draft lap of a 52.349. DeLello's pole lap, of course, was only in the 55-second range. But an unexpected pole out of the Shade Beniaco Racing driver. I myself expected another Breeding Enterprises pole for the type of racing that this track produces. As with Daytona and Papyrus, aerodynamics, of course, coming big into play. But you can see that with all the Rams that qualified up front, with Blake Warren second, Malik Nevins fourth. Heck, Boston Jones for Caesar Autosport starting in 6th place, and Chase Dunbar is starting in 11th, his teammate. And as I mentioned, Dewey Schramm III would have been up there in the top 15 had he not had to fall back due to a provisional. 40 laps of action, pit window 13 to 16 laps. Cloudy 82-degree night here in Pensacola, Florida, and we are green flag racing in the NAPA Truck Series. You're going to see the field spread out 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe even a little bit of 5 wide. So you see DeLello getting the push from his teammate Aiden Smith. DeLello coming into this race, 23rd in the point standings. And has shown good pace on the road courses so far this season, so shocking again to see him get his first career pole here tonight at Pensacola. But Pensacola is the type of track that produces such first-time pole sitters. As Kyle Springer is right on Luke Martin's back bumper, he knows with 8 races remaining, he's got to gain all the points he can get, and he cannot have Luke Martin gain any more points on him this season. Just think, Kyle Springer finished 10th in Memphis, I believe it was, and Luke Martin won, and he lost so many points to Luke, and now Luke is going for the lead. How about the Flipside Motorsports trucks? Christian Vargas and Lane Sanders moving up along the bottom line as they are already 4 wide in the back of the pack. These trucks get up to about 200 to 202 mile an hour in the draft, and Lane Sanders is going to make it 4 wide for second, and now 3 wide for the race lead. Rubino Gonzalez back in the 34 for Tommy Roberts Racing. It's his first start in a long time. It's only his 4th race on the year. And he has yet to finish inside the top 10 out of those starts. 3 starts, no top 10 finishes, very, very low average finishes. You see a couple of drivers straggling there at the back of the field. As Lane Sanders takes a commanding lead for now, but you don't want to get too far out in front of the draft. Christopher Jones 2nd, Francois Chastain 3rd, and look at this. Dewey Schramm the 3rd, man. That bottom side, when they go 3-4 wide, if you are on the bottom, you would just fly to the front. And trouble! Luke Martin's in it! The big one at Pensacola on lap number 3. Trucks spinning everywhere down the apron. And Luke Martin was the first one to go around. I think that started with Malik Nevins and one other. And the field has been cut in half. Lane Sanders will lead him to the first caution flag of the night. Well, let's see how this all unfolded. So Luke Martin was in a 3-wide situation behind Christian Vargas. And Nevins just went for a hole. And he's trying to squeeze himself in here next to Joshua Michaels and Luke. And they went 5 wide, and it was on from there. DeLello, nowhere to go. AJ Jones, Michaels, Blake Warren. Oh, and Brandon Morris, who was trailing way behind, just came in there out of nowhere to finish some of these drivers off. Bob Burns, Ricky Freeman Jr., Glenn Mixon, Sebastian Kukalon, Griffin Lapel, McDermott, all involved. And perhaps a couple other trucks with minor damage. This is one of those tracks we knew would produce such a situation as this. If Luke Martin or Springer were in an accident tonight, we knew it would really shake up the championship. And right there, you can see Nevins and Michaels just pinch each other there. Luke gets it mostly together, but then right there, Morris comes in at the end and I think hits Joshua Michaels into Luke Martin, giving him more damage and sending him into the grass. Now the real question here will be if Luke Martin will continue the race or not. If he doesn't, he will likely finish in the bottom 5 positions of the race results and give Springer a huge opportunity to take back the points lead. Just want to give you guys one last look at this in slow motion. Up ahead, you see the contact with Nevins and Michaels occur. We're back here. They were 5 wide back here with Dagby, Freeman, GLM, and some others. You can just see nowhere for anybody to go here. Cloud of smoke. GLM gets hit down. AJ Jones down there into Nelson Reeves. And then Nevins shoots straight down the track. Zachary Bilson does a great job getting through this. But Bob Burns is not so lucky. He gets clipped right at the end. There's Morris coming in, hits Blake Warren actually, and Luke was already getting turned down some more. How about some drivers up here though? Boston Jones, Aiden Smith, Huck Davis, Dunbar, Brett Houck. I think they all slammed the brakes and managed to miss this. See, Dunbar's got a little piece of damage, but the rest of these guys are pretty clean, and I believe we actually have an onboard for one of these drivers. Riding on board with Huck Davis. Just watch how he manages to avoid this on the brakes, Dunbar, you can see getting pushed in the wall there. Brett Houck, Huck's teammate, also does an amazing job of getting through this. So Aiden Smith, not without damage, and same for Chase Dunbar. And that is the extent of this wreck review. Under caution here, and Boston Jones has lost all fuel pressure after his pit stop here under caution. He's going about 20 miles an hour here down the back straightaway. And the field has just received the 1 to go, so hopefully Boston Jones will be off the racetrack by the time they go green. But what an unfortunate break for the Caesar Autosports driver. Qualified in the top 10, definitely a fast truck. But this will likely put him 1 or 2 laps down if they can get this issue fixed. Brandon Morris is the only driver that has retired from the race, as Ricky Freeman Jr. has fallen a lap down for some issue there, repairing his damage. A little bit of strategy unfolding here. Now, you wouldn't think at a super speedway, you would want to do this, especially with the fuel window. But Brett Houck and his number 40 Texan Motorsports team elected to stay out under the caution. Now you have to pit twice. Now everyone that just came down pit road on lap 4, they cannot make it to the end of this race. They will have to pit somewhere around lap 18 to 22, and then again around lap 33 to 36. That is the estimated window there if this race were to go green. So Brett Houck will have to come down somewhere between lap 13 and 16. But hey, I guess he gets to lead the field at a super speedway. Christopher Jones will restart in second. Francois Chastain and Lane Sanders' teammates lined up third and fourth. Cody Goforth in fifth. Rubino Gonzalez sixth. Dewey Schramm the third in seventh. J.D. Martin eighth. Larry Hagan ninth. And Ryan Butcher rounds out the top 10. Kyle Springer is in 13th place. And as Brett Houck leads him to the restart, Luke Martin sits in 37th. Boston Jones made it off the racetrack. We are green flag racing once again from Pensacola. They only ran 3 laps, but so far the fastest draft lap is a 52.510. Not that that really matters here. You've just got to play with the air. As you see, Francois Chastain and Lane Sanders, they're going to lead Brett Houck out to dry right away on this restart. As Christopher Jones, Rubino Gonzalez, and J.D. Martin all also getting shuffled to the top. Larry Hagan is coming, though. He ain't wasting any time. Ian Brandt is going to make it 4 wide here. We're only on the 8th lap of the race, but these guys want to give a show for the fans. The front straightaway here, big grandstand along the outside wall, and plenty of infield space for campers. This spectator cam will show us how drivers dive up and down the front straightaway all night long. As Larry Hagan's going to take it 3 wide for the race lead. Francois stays high. Dewey Schramm the third, looking to make a 4th lane on the top with Brett Houck. Not sure how well that's going to work out for him. But Larry Hagan, if he can get back to the line and be the leader, he will have led it all 3 super speedways this season. Yes, I'm considering Papyrus somewhat of a super speedway road course hybrid due to the nature that we saw from the racing. But how about KT Larson in 2nd place? Now, KT is not going to be in this truck at Chicagoland. Brandon Morris was given a hot seat offer to run this truck at Chicagoland, and if he does well enough, Anjato claims that has said they were gonna give Morris Motorsports full alliance. As KT now going for the race lead. Now I believe that alliance would be for next year. I'm not sure if it would start right away this year. Who knows? Anjato could probably do it this year if they wanted to. They're the best Toyota team in the series. Look no further than what Ryan Butcher and Jordan Fisher have done this year. How about Huck Davis? Made it through that accident, and now he's looking for the race lead. 4 wide for 2nd place. Oh, and KT was trying to hang to the bottom there, but Huck stuck his nose in. Dead even heat there at the start-finish line. That is something we could see tonight, is a photo finish. They are 3 wide, several rows deep, and 4 wide. A little bit of 5 wide there as Hagan gets put all the way to the outside wall. Very, very tight racing here as Brett Houck goes back to the race lead. Boston Jones back out on track as Ricky Freeman Jr. actually is done for the night. They were trying to get it repaired, but just too much damage. They are done here at Pensacola. Boston Jones is 3 laps down, but up the pace. As you see, Bob Burns, Malik Nevins, Griffin Label McDermott, Luke Martin, Joshua Michaels, all trailing the main pack. AJ Jones, Zachary DeLello, Blake Warren, and Aiden Smith also have lost touch, as has Chase Dunbar and now Gatlin Downey right on the edge of it. So 26 trucks, though, still up to speed here at the front of the field. And to me, that is enough trucks that we could see another accident if these guys aren't careful. Now, if you haven't seen a race at Pensacola before, the pit entrance is somewhat narrow, so drivers generally only enter pit road here in a single file line. So if you are not right on the bottom, it is not really a good idea for you to try to pit from the top. We see, you know, doesn't really, Daytona, a different story, of course, with the pitting. But here at Pensacola, you'll generally see drivers go in single file. So if Brett Houck wants to pit, he is going to have to get his butt to the bottom of the racetrack. He is now in the window as Larry Hagan and Mitchell Carter to the front of the field. And that 22 truck's got some back end damage, but it's not hurting that Jerky Pro Team Velocity Ram one bit. Jerky Pro will be sponsoring Mitchell in his full-time effort with Team Velocity next season as he drives the number 24 entry. Still unknown which owner points will go to which truck, as all three trucks, the 22, 23, and 32, are changing numbers. It'll be the 2, 17, and 24. Of course, Mitchell Carter going to be in the 24. Kyle Vaughters will be in the 2, and Glenn Mixon, who's in the 23 tonight, will be in the 17. But right now, look at this. Larry Hagan, you know this 88 truck is hooked up perhaps even better than it was at Daytona. He is leading the field, and they are not even drafting up to him. That is a fast Breeding Enterprises Panini Ram. KT Larson holding on here in the top 10. How about Zachary Bilson for Crossroads Racing? This is one of those trucks that is right outside of the top 30 in owner points. You know, himself, Ian Brandt, Chase Dunbar, Dewey Schramm III, Boston Jones, of course, with the issue, Nelson Reeves in the 10. All those trucks right outside the top 30, trying to get back into the top 30. Springfield is the next race on the schedule. We're going to be doing heat races again. And this time, since Springfield has the space, we will see a 40 truck main event. I believe it'll be 46 drivers attempting the race, so 6 drivers will go home. But like Knoxville, Springfield will be one of those races where you're not guaranteed to make it if you're top 30 in the points. We saw Aiden Smith and Christopher Jones have to use provisionals to make the race at Knoxville. And we actually did have one driver, I believe it was the 10 of Nelson Reeves, that was top 30 in owner's points and missed the race because guys below him in owner points raced their way into the show. So Springfield, gonna be a lot of fun, but Pensacola, just as much fun. Look at Lane Sanders back up to third. KT Larson just chilling behind Larry Hagan here in second. Tyler Black, TJ Smith, top 5. Reeves in 6th. Look at Glenn Mixon coming up to the front on that bottom line. As I don't see the 40 truck anymore, I believe he has made it to pit road. Indeed he has. So Brett Houck coming down the pit road, lap 15 to lap 16. So we should expect to see him back down in 15 more laps. As Bob Burns could be getting lapped here soon if a caution doesn't come out. The drivers have done a great job of singling it up. Seeing a lot more just double file now. Now you can make the top side work if you have the right partner. You can, if you get put to the top 2 rows wide, if you've got someone right on your back bumper, you can hold off the guy on the bottom a little bit. But tonight we have just seen everybody making a move with like 2 or 3 guys behind them. You see, there's no way for Hagan to hold them off from that top line. So Lane Sanders to the point. Gonzalez and Mixon on the bottom. Crown Jr. was looking to make a move, but Dagby made one first. As we still have 25 trucks in this pack. in a decent-sized pack at the back of the field. Brett Houck coming out of pit road. He is still on the lead lap as the leaders will catch Bob Burns, and they are going to split him in the middle. Gonzalez and Dagby go by first. Oh, don't do it. Burns just about turning down into Mixon and JD Martin. Dewey, Schramm, Huck, Davis, Bilson, Vargas will all get by. Everybody else getting held up tremendously. And now Bob will hold up in the middle line. And that's really going to hurt Roberto Crown Jr., who was just at the front of the field. Pit stops on lap 18, coming to 19. Glenn Mixon, Christian Vargas, and Mitchell Carter lead a couple of drivers down here. Alexa Lucia, Nelson Reeves coming in as well, along with a bunch of damaged race trucks. So pit stops beginning. Aiden Smith actually had already come down. That gives the lead to JD Martin. Now the thing with pit stops at super speedways, especially with Pensacola, you want to take as little as fuel as possible in your last stop of the race. So if these guys can stretch it as long as possible here, they will be able to take as little fuel needed at the end of the race if this goes green to the finish. Let's see, Christopher Jones, Huck Davis leading down a ton of drivers. Lane Sanders, Butcher, Springer, TJ Smith all coming down. Luke Martin, you see there, staying out. And as with every track, if you are at the tail of a line coming into pit road, you tend to lose a little bit of time there. See Vargas first out of his group off of the pit lane. Brett Houck will merge right back into the draft here from the looks of things. So not many drivers left. Dewey Schramm the third looking for the lead on JD Martin. And it looks like some drivers are getting ready to pit there. You can see Gonzalez and Hagan gapping themselves from the driver in front. Dagby is going to move down to the bottom. Is he pitting or not? No, he is not. And it looks like JD Martin and Ryan Dagby will be the only two to stay out one more lap. So Dewey Schramm the third leads in Larry Hagan. And Hagan arguably is the fastest truck here tonight, as was with Daytona. And a good strategy here to make it to lap 20. Disaster for one driver. Blake Warren has run out of gas. He stayed out one lap too many. Of course, Blake damaging off the pace. But that just goes back to the whole entering pit road single file. So Blake was forced to stay out longer than he wanted to. And he ran out of fuel as a result. And I think Ryan Dagby is out of fuel, as is JD Martin. And they're going to have Boston Jones pitting with them. So Dagby and JD, they stretched it too long. And they've run out of gas. It's hurt JD more than Ryan Dagby. Hopefully they'll be able to get the engines refired. But they are looking very good here. They might be able to take less fuel on their final pit stop if this race stays green. Right now it's definitely appearing that it'll go that way. We'll have to see how spaced out the field is. We had a 26 truck pack before. We'll have to see what the leaders, what the number of trucks in the lead pack looks like here after pit stops. The cycle is complete, and the 5 trucks you see in frame are the top 5. Dewey Schramm III just getting passed for the race lead by Larry Hagan. But it's those two plus Huck Davis, Lane Sanders, and Rubino Gonzalez in this lead pack fighting for this race win. Now, it's not a lot of trucks, so if they fight too much, they could be caught. 6th place all the way down to 17th is the pack racing behind them. But these guys are really racing hard here. Let's see, we've got Sebastian Kukalon, Christopher Jones, Butcher, Tyler Black, Bilson Vargas, Benny Watson, KT Larson, Dagby, Springer, and Alexa Lucian, with Glenn Mixon trailing there just in range to sniff the draft. Let's see, that time by, they actually lost a couple of tenths to the top 5. I believe it was 0.3 of a second there. So if these guys fight too much for 6th place, they are just going to keep losing time as the top 5 are single filed up. Lane Sanders, though, he wants to go for the race lead. Dewey Schramm III is willing to help him out. No, wait. It's going to make it a 3-wide move for 3rd. Dewey, though, not with any draft help there, so he's going to end up pushing Lane past Rubino. So Rubino will fall from 3rd to 5th. As they've got a couple of lap trucks approaching. Malik Nevins, Blake Warren, and it looks like TJ Smith. And we're hearing that the 6 has been back down the pit road. An oil leak occurred at some point after they pit, and they had to bring it back down. So that is a tough break for TJ. He was flirting with a top 5 finish, maybe even a shot at the win, but not what they needed here tonight. Let's see who else is at the back here. See AJ Jones and Griffin Lapel McDermott side by side. Got Bob Burns, who's a lap down. Luke Martin fighting for a top 30 spot with Joshua Michaels and Gatlin Downey. They are very far behind. These 3 might actually get lapped before this thing is all said and done. And it looks like Francois Chastain had a very poor pit stop. He has really fallen off. Here's another pack. Nelson Reeves, Brett Houck, Aiden Smith, Roberto Crown Jr., Ian Brandt, J.D. Martin, Cody Goforth. So Martin in that 3rd group. Dagby, who stayed out a very long time, is in the 2nd group. But they continue to lose time to the top 5. Not really a whole lot of things going on here. Huck Davis, though, making a move for the lead. He's got help from Lane Sanders and Dewey Schramm III. Looking at the fastest lap time on the race, still goes to J.D. Martin with a 52.510. That was run in the first 3 laps of the race. A couple of drivers there under a 52.6, including Butcher, Hagan, Kukulon, Dewey Schramm III, Vargas, and Francois Chastain. So Dewey's truck definitely hooked up. You know, was going to qualify top 15. Had the provisional, though, so they had to fall back to 37th. Fastest in practice, though, by a whole 10th in draft. I know it's just draft and it's super speedway practice, but that shows speed in the pack. And even in race pace, they've got the pace 4th there on the chart, and he's put himself in a position to at least get a very good finish out of this. Maybe even have a shot at a win. We know Dewey Schramm III will be racing in the Hardee's National Series next year for Easy Racing, as he was unable to find a ride for the NAPA Truck Series. Gatlin Down Incorporated claims they wanted to re-sign him if he could get the truck to finish in the top 30 in points, or get it back into the top 30 in points, as Malik Nevins, who they're approaching right now, is going to slow down all of them. Nevins has done very well. He is 7th in the standings. Dewey trying to pass him to the top side, but a bunch of... Oh, now he's going to get blocked by his own teammate. That's unfortunate. Oh, but Hagan is really threading the needle there. Rubino, though, is going to bail on him. And now back to 2 wide. For the race lead, it's Lane Sanders and Huck Davis. But yeah, GDI, they wanted to bring him back, but Dewey took the first offer that came to him, and you can't really blame him. Silly season occurs earlier every year, and even at this stage, we're at the end of August, and there are not that many drivers left on the free agent market, and there are not that many rides left to go for either. So teams, struggling to find drivers, because a lot of the guys that are on the free agent market haven't shown interest in returning in any of the 3 series. So definitely an interesting problem, but a problem with a solution, as we've seen the Sony Cup Series is restricting the number of full-time Cup cars next year, and down here in the NAPA Truck Series we'll be moving towards doing the same thing. But how about Lane Sanders leading this race, looking for his first career FBRL win, as he is going to be driving full-time next year for Single Z Racing. So I believe out of this picture, Hagen's going the GDI, Huck Davis is going the Young, and Rubino Gonzalez does not have a ride lined up yet for 2022 as far as my knowledge goes. As we've got more lap trucks, you can see the pack closed backed up a good bit. Bob Burns is going to be lapped here for the second time tonight. Oh boy, that was really close there with him and Huck Davis. And that really slowed up the rest of the top 5. We know Blake Warren will be driving for Silver Fox Motorsports next year. Alexander Rowe will drive the number 8 for Breeding Enterprises next year. Very interesting signing there by Breeding Enterprises, but they have filled up their lineup. Of course, Edward Siemba will be driving the number 80 for Anj Auto next year. Just a stacked field for the 2022 season. We've got a couple of Sony Cup Series drivers jumping down and a couple of Hardy's National Series drivers jumping down. A couple of former NAPA Truck Series drivers too, such as Tib Foster and Justin Johnson, who will be driving for Monster Energy Racing. They ran down here back when it was the NAPA Pro Series. And as Huck Davis catches GLM, it's worth noting that Tib Foster actually has a NAPA Truck Series win back at Eldora when it was a NAPA Pro Series. As it looks like Chase Dunbar just came off the pit lane. Indeed he did. We have already entered the pit window. Lap 32 coming to lap 33. And everyone going up here to the top of the track. I'm not sure if someone in front here is pitting or not. Yes, indeed, AJ Jones will come in, but the top 5 remain on the racetrack. A lot of these drivers have ran 15 laps since their last pit stop. You gotta wonder if any of them are going to start to come down here. And yes, indeed, Lane Sanders is the first one down from the top 5 group. Butcher, Benny Watson, and Alexa Luchon from the second pack coming as well. KT Larson is really going to be able to dive it in here. Let's see how long the pit stop is for Lane Sanders. Left side tires and fuel. And out and away he goes. And it looks like that is going to be the strategy call for this first group. Left side tires and fuel. Larry Hagan inheriting the race lead. He just checked up there for Brett Houck, so he wants to get it down to pit road here this time by. It'll be 6 to go at the start-finish line. Will anybody from the rest of this top 4 stay out? Survey says no. The rest of them are in. What about from the second group? Dagby stays out. Reeves already pit. Kukulon will stay out. So what is the strategy call for the second group? Will we see them take fuel only? Or will it be a left side tire pit stop and fuel for them as well? Hagan, first one in his stall in the picture. And he is taking left side tires as well. Let's see, Dewey Schramm the third, top right of your screen. Left side tires are up. Springer, Boston Jones, Vargas, all of them doing the same strategy call here. As Larry Hagan will lead him out of the pit lane. Dagby, Kukulon elected to stay out. I believe they were the last to stay out from the first and second groups. And that is indeed the case. They are coming to pit road here, but they are going to be coming in behind Blake Warren and TJ Smith. But hitting 5 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see if we are still at a 5 truck pack, or if that has shrunk or expanded to allow more drivers to fight for this race win, as it's a 2 tire pit stop, maybe a second faster than those other 2 tire stops we saw. I know Lane Sanders, it looked like they held him for another second to get fuel in it. Brian Dagby, Kukulon able to not worry about that. They are out and away. So now where will Dagby and Kukulon come out in regards to the leader? He is going to be side by side with Blake Warren. That's going to hurt Warren more than it'll hurt Dagby. There's the lead pack. And it looks like it's down to 4. Lane Sanders is nowhere to be seen. Huck Davis looking for a move to the inside of Rubino Gonzalez as TJ Smith comes out of pit road. Huck will jump back up to the top. Michaels and Downey are up ahead, and that appears to be it for lap traffic in this one. Dewey Schramm the third looking to the inside of Huck Davis for third. We could be looking at a first-time winner, but look at this. Where did Ryan Butcher come from? Butcher, who we mentioned will be getting replaced by Edward Siemba as Butcher heads up to the Hardee's National Series next year. Butcher looking for what would be his second win of the season. TJ is up to speed, but he is a lap down. Lane Sanders, Springer, Dagby, Christopher Jones, Kukulon, and Benny Watson all in this pack as Lushon gets held up by Blake Warren. There's Luke Martin. He is a lap down. Running in 33rd, Springer with a very good chance to gain a ton of points here if he gets a good finish. But him and a couple others currently stuck behind TJ Smith. He's not really holding him up, but he is in the way. Dewey Schramm the third going to go 3 wide for the race lead. Davis will jump low, so will Butcher. That's going to put Dewey in a bad spot, and Dewey is going to have to check up, as will Huck Davis. Butcher will fly by. TJ will lead Dagby by 2 on the bottom. Jones looking to pass by Dewey. Getting held up. Hagan, Rubino held up by Gatlin Downey on the top. And with 3 laps to go, could that be all said and done for those drivers getting held up by the lap traffic? Dewey is still stuck behind Joshua Michaels. Battles on for the race lead, though. It's Butcher in the lead. Jones, Dagby looking for a way by TJ Smith. 2 laps to go. Who's going to get it done at Pensacola? 3 miles around this racetrack takes about 52 and a half, 53 seconds. There's a lot of time to get a run. Joshua Michaels is still in the way. Dewey Schramm the third, stuck on the top behind him. I think it's all said and done for Dewey's chances at this. No, he's going to jump to the bottom. Down to the bottom, right in front of Benny Watson. Streamline on the bottom. Dagby's going to jump low, so will Kukulon. Hagan and Rubino right there with him. On the bottom, Dewey Schramm the third looking to go 3 wide. Can't get enough of a run. Hagan will make it 3 wide there for third. He's to the inside of Kukulon and Springer as Dagby's looking for what would be his second win on the season. But Larry Hagan got denied at Daytona due to lap traffic. He will not be denied tonight. There is no more lap traffic in sight. White flag in the air. Hagan looking for the race lead. A push from Rubino Gonzalez as Dewey Schramm the third looks on the bottom 3 wide. Dagby trying to see if he can get some help from Butcher and Huck Davis, but Hagan is just too strong. Best truck in the field all night long. And it has been hard to get a run on Hagan in this race. Dewey's going to make a move here for second. That might be the best he can get. He's got help from Lane Sanders, Watson, and a few others. To the inside he goes of Rubino. Hagan leaving a bit of a gap. Dewey Schramm the third's going to go for it. To the inside of Larry Hagan goes Dewey Schramm the third. Help from Lane Sanders. What a miscalculation by Hagan by not blocking the bottom. And Dewey Schramm the third is going to be a NAPA Truck Series winner. He gets it done at Pensacola. 37th to 1st. From a provisional to get into the race to a NAPA Truck Series winner. What a drive by Dewey Schramm the third here tonight at Pensacola. And Larry Hagan must be heartbroken all over again, as he was back at Daytona. Sanders will come home second. He tried it there right off of turn 4, but just not enough of a run. Not enough time. Hagan third. Benny Watson fourth. Rabino Gonzalez gets fifth. What a top 5. Christopher Jones, Ryan Dagby, Butcher, Springer, and Huck Davis, the top 10. And Kukulon, last of this pack, got 11th place. Luke Martin, I believe, will officially come home in 33rd. So Springer will not take back the points lead, but he will gain a very good amount of points here on Luke Martin. Dewey Schramm III going to take a victory lap here around the racetrack. Hagan and Jones were to the outside of some guys, so they were unable to get it down to the pit lane. But man, oh man, this man's going racing in the Hardee's National Series next season, and he will get to say that he won a NAPA Truck Series race. Wow. I am speechless. That's going to wrap it up for me here tonight. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks for some more dirt track racing as we head to Springfield for a 40-lap main event. Heat races will be 8 laps. LCQ will likely be 15 laps. 1 mile dirt track, as we'll be racing in Illinois 2 weeks in a row, Springfield and Chicagoland. So Dewey Schramm III won this race, and I will see you guys next time.